You never seen it?
No.
He gets a glass of Flint tap water, and I swear to God, he drinks it like this. Flushes.
Can I get some water? I really did need a glass of water. This is not a stunt.
Usually when something isn't a stunt, you have to say
It's
that.
100% a stunt. When was the last time a president stopped a speech to ask, can I get a glass of water? They would never do that. They would have water ready for him.
One of the most interesting moments in the 2008 campaign occurred when a man, like Obama himself, came from out of nowhere to recount his experiences with Barack Obama, the man. His name was Larry Sinclair, and he told an amazing story. He said that in 1999, he had encountered Barack Obama in Illinois, had with Barack Obama, and then used with him.
Tucker Carlson just torched the Obama myth like it was dry grass in a wind tunnel. No mercy, no fluff, just a full frontal roast that left the polished facade in ashes. They shredded the empty promises, the Netflix saint persona, and the cult-level devotion that still shields him from criticism like he's made of glass and unicorn spit. This wasn't political commentary. It was a ritual unmasking. If you thought Obama was America's untouchable icon, Rogan and Carlson just yanked the plug and flipped the script.
In fact, a lot of what they campaigned on, they don't practice at all. Great example is the Obama administration. The Hope and Change website had to be changed because there was a bunch of stuff in there about whistleblowers.
No, I don't think Mr. Snowden was a patriot. I called for a thorough review of our surveillance operations before Mr. Snowden made these leaks. My preference would have been for a lawful, orderly examination of these laws.
Protecting whistleblowers, which they didn't do at all. There was one of the worst administrations for whistleblowers.
Now that he's a Netflix producer, along with his 8-adult wife, Michelle, he's producing more racial division. The latest is called Leave the World Behind. It's a fictional thriller about the collapse of technology and what humans would do with no phones or computers. The movie follows a family on vacation at a rental house, and one night they're visited by a father and a daughter who show up seeking shelter. They say their phones no longer work and they need a place to stay. So immediately the white family, because they're evil, that's encoded in their DNA of course, is suspicious of the visitors because they're black.
Joe Rogan leaned back like a man about to dissect a sacred cow, grinning, hungry, and holding the sharpest MIC in the game. His target? Not just Obama the man, but Obama the myth, the lifestyle brand, the airbrushed memory fogging up American media like a lavender diffuser. Joe didn't swing an axe. He just lit the illusion on fire and let the contradictions do the talking.
Obama went on stage and he roasted Trump.
Donald Trump is here tonight.
And one of the lines he said to Trump, he said, "I'm one thing that you'll never be," which is the president of the United States.
Donald Trump has been saying that he will run for president as a Republican, which is surprising since I just assumed he was running as a joke.
And you could see Trump in his head going, okay, I'm going to run now. That one moment where Obama was talking shit to him might be the reason why Trump was like, I'll show you.
Joe started where it hurts, the media's cult-like reverence. Obama's name still gets whispered like he floated down from a rainbow in a tailored suit to bless the masses with vague life advice. Rogan couldn't stop laughing. The guy does nothing risky anymore, just pops in, drops a feel-good quote, posts a playlist, and disappears behind a Netflix logo like a political Banksy.
And it goes on and on and on like this. Here's a clip.
I'm asking for you to remember that if the world falls apart, trust should not be doled out easily to anyone, especially white people.
Can't trust white people. They're evil. This is the guy, remember, who became famous at the Democratic Convention in 2004 by telling us there is no white America, there's no black America, it's just one America. But of course, that's not really a profit model in politics, is it? So he's been stoking race hatred ever since, and the disarray around us is the result.
Next up, the brand. Joe broke it down like a fake diamond under a lab scope. 8 years of drone strikes and economic confusion, but somehow the guy still has a halo stapled to his head. Rogan mocked how people don't remember what Obama did, just how peaceful he looked while doing it. He could have been launching missiles while lighting a scented candle, and nobody would blink. The myth was so strong, even his inaction got a standing ovation.
By Election Day, most Americans knew only one thing about Barack Obama, other than he was handsome and a good communicator: hope and change. But they knew nothing about him, his origins, what he believed, and legitimate questions about those facts were turned away, as they often are, with the claim, "That's a conspiracy theory, you're crazy."
Then Joe ripped into the contradictions. The man who preached like Gandhi and governed like a corporate raider during a hostile takeover. Rogan wasn't mad, he was amused. Obama said peace, then played Call of Duty with drone strikes. Every speech. A perfectly staged TED Talk on empathy with dramatic pauses and emotionally soothing tones. Joe joked Obama could read a cereal box and half the country would cry tears of hope. And post-presidency. Forget retirement, Obama rebranded. Media deals, playlists, podcasts. Rogan pictured him greenlighting teen dramas between kale smoothies. But the real kicker. Americans didn't elect a leader, they hired a political therapist. Cool professor vibes, required reading, himself.
Volume and go full screen.
What you know now, do you wish you had a third term? You know what, if I could make an arrangement where I had a stand-in, a front man or front woman, and they had an earpiece in, and I was just in my basement in my sweats, looking through the stuff, and then I could sort of deliver the lines, but somebody else was doing all the talking and ceremony, I'd be fine with that.
We know he wasn't really running the country.
Yeah.
We used to think he was actually running the country, and now they're like, no, he didn't even see those executive orders. That was all auto.
And then the press. Joe obliterated them for treating Obama like his woven from moonbeams and glass. Criticize him? That's heresy. He could sneeze and the media would call it a policy breakthrough. Enter Tucker. While Rogan poked fun, Tucker brought the flamethrower. He called Obama's presidency the greatest bait and switch in modern politics. Ran on hope, delivered stagnation wrapped in smooth jazz. Tucker called it emotional marketing. The words didn't matter, only the feeling. And Obama, he was the top salesman.
Cy Hirsch piece, here's the cliff notes. Obama colludes with Nancy Pelosi and Hakeem Jeffries and Schumer. Sunday morning calls Biden and says, you're done. Kamala's gonna 25th Amendment you, and you gotta step aside.
And who places the call?
Obama.
Obama does.
So Obama calls the sitting president and tells him, you're done. Then tells Kamala Harris, you're gonna be the nominee, but if you don't gain traction, if you're not popular, we're gonna take you out too.
Tucker attacked the snobbery, the Ivy League cadence, the slow motion pauses, the graduate seminar tone. He wasn't leading America, he was lecturing it. Most Americans were trying to survive Tuesday, not take philosophy 304. Then came the legacy beatdown. Tucker pointed out what the media won't. Middle class got gutted, foreign policy expanded into chaos, and racial division metastasized. Obama could have healed, but instead he acted like a visiting scholar at America's crisis. Symbolic gestures. Plenty. Actual hard truths. Me. Tucker joked it was political quantum mechanics. Obama could be everywhere and nowhere, depending on which magazine cover you're reading.
He ran against all that stuff.
Yeah, he did.
Right? Iraq was the bad war. Afghanistan was the good war. And he ran a campaign against that.
You know,
but he ended up throwing into prison the guy who told the truth about it.
Mark Halperin and John Heilemann wrote a book about both the 2008 election and the 2012 election. And in the second book, they quote Obama twice, saying things that just put it all into perspective. Number one, he said, I never said I was a liberal.
Then Tucker torched the post-presidency glow-up. The tech partnerships. The influencer-level production. The perfect drone angles. Obama didn't age. His filter game just leveled up. And the best punchline. The guy who promised a new politics ended up being Washington's smoothest operator. Old school deals. Deep state friendships. Strategic silence. Obama didn't change the game. He sold it with better lighting. Tucker summed it up like this. Here's a 5-star restaurant with epic decor and microwave food. You leave full of ambience and still starving.
He said that in 1999, he had encountered Barack Obama in Illinois, had sex with Barack Obama, and then used cocaine with him. Sinclair went on to make these claims publicly at the National Press Club in Washington, to sign a sworn affidavit, and to take a lie detector test. But he was dismissed. In fact, he was attacked. Obama shills like Ben Smith of Politico batted the claims out without refuting them. They're absurd. And the rest of the media followed suit. But the claims weren't absurd. We're not claiming they're true, but they were certainly credible. This was a first-hand account of Barack Obama's behavior by someone who was willing to sign a sworn affidavit to that effect.
That was the Obama presidency. Elegant, shiny, but ultimately hollow. Rogan and Tucker landed on the same conclusion. Obama wasn't a leader. He was a narrative, a projection, a TED Talk that ran 8 years too long. Joe compared him to a motivational app with nukes. Tucker called him a screensaver, nice to look at, utterly pointless. Neither man hated Obama, but both destroyed the fantasy. They didn't break the myth. They unzipped it, laid it flat, and showed the wires.
Interesting. So he knew Barack Obama, and in his view, Barack Obama liked the same kind of partying you were looking for.
Yep.
Okay. So sex and drugs, in other words.
Well, the sex part I wasn't so sure about until, of course, you make your move, but it became obvious very quick. The coke part I thought was interesting because of the way that I had brought it up.
So I'm stepping on your story. So you pull up, and I apologize. So you pull up to this bar. The driver is basically scouting some dude for you to hang out with.
Correct.
There's this guy, Barack Obama. Have you ever heard of Barack Obama?
Never.
Tucker came back in like a guy who just autopsied a Disney character and found stock slogans and donor cash. He mocked the idea that Obama is the eternal fallback fix. War, crisis, inflation. Cue the pundits, if only Obama were here. Like his Obadiah Kennedy whispering vibes from Martha's Vineyard. But Tucker didn't buy it. The man failed, cleanly, and people confused neat packaging with actual results. Tucker joked Obama could calmly narrate the Titanic going under, and everyone on board would thank him for the mindfulness.
Bush leaves after 2 terms. Obama gets elected.
Yes.
And he's very much the peace candidate. He's for transparency.
Well, I like to say that it was Saint Obama that came down from the heavens
right.
into the White House
Black
to save
Jesus
us.
returns.
That's right.
And but he's very much I remember in fact being on television saying, he was this wild-eyed peacenik lefty guy.
Mm-hmm. Oh no, he wasn't.
Oh, he wasn't.
Joe circled back with the supplement joke. If Obama launched a vitamin brand, half of Hollywood would inject it intravenously before brunch. That's how deep the devotion runs. People don't remember what he promised, only how he felt. Joe called him the Tony Robbins of geopolitics. And maybe it wasn't even his fault. Maybe we wanted the myth. A calm voice. A pretty speech. A political dopamine hit. Joe said America got addicted to feeling inspired instead of being informed. Then Tucker closed it out with the real legacy. Not the policies. Not the speeches. The machine. The networks. The PR squads. The quiet bureaucratic empire he left humming behind the scenes, still shaping perception, still pretending to be neutral. Tucker called it the most elegant sleight of hand in American history. And both men agreed. Barack Obama wasn't a president. He was a hallucination. A vibe in a suit. And once you spot the illusion, you can't unsee it, and they weren't done.